car just died. What the fuck? So this morning I read this article from the Daily Beast that was talking about the ways that the YouTube algorithms, like the autoplay function, tends to drive people toward alt-right stuff. And they talked to these guys who claimed that they had been kind of sucked into the like alt-right universe of things via autoplay and recommendations and stuff like that on YouTube, and the kind of like gradual method by which that happened, being interested in this video game video, going to atheist stuff, going to anti-feminist stuff, going to more misogynistic, racist, white nationalist stuff. And it's a good, decent enough article. Had a couple issues with it. The Daily Beast is kind of hit or miss on their journalism and stuff, but the main thing that I keep thinking about on it is how eerily similar it is to post-2016 election rationalization by white liberals of the election of Donald Trump. Kind of the only reason he won. Well, let me back up a second. White liberals saying, well, he's a racist, misogynist. How did we end up, voting for this guy? Saying, well, it must be the Russians. It must be this and that. It must be fake news. It must be misinformation. The failure of a lot of us, white liberals, white leftists, to acknowledge that our country is just really, really racist and misogynistic, and it kind of like eschews that responsibility of people. It kind of takes away that people voted for him because they support those things about him. It's kind of making an excuse, saying, well, we're not, people can't actually be this bad. There must have been some influence. So when I'm reading this thing about these YouTube videos and all that, the same kind of thing is striking me. It's like, at what point do we say, well, these guys weren't turned this way because of such and such videos or these algorithms or whatever, they're responsible for this in the same way anybody else is responsible for the other things that they do in their lives. One moment, please. What I guess it kind of makes me wonder reading something like that is there a point where we say, yes, you might have been exposed to certain types of videos and certain types of ideas on this platform, and we should be watching out for that. And same time wonder, these are ideas that are not foreign to white males from the get-go. Like, I would be surprised, and it could be true, but I would be terribly, terribly surprised if these guys had never heard anything like this before in their lives. We live in a culture that is white supremacist, patriarchal, and where heteronormative ideas are pushed. It's not, these aren't really fringe ideas so much as what our culture has for at least the past 300 years or so been founded on. I mean, there are parts written into our Constitution that outline this kind of stuff. I guess what I'm getting at is that I feel like white kids, white males especially, are given so much slack and so much room to do these sorts of things, but never any of the responsibility for it. Like, if a white dude gets into white supremacist videos, like, how shocking is it really? How shocking would it really be to him to be watching some stuff and then say, oh no, hey, this is racist. You know, I'm going to turn this off and get away from it. You know, for these guys to say, oh, I started finding some of these videos that turned out to be racist. And then they got into it. They kept going and not, you know, oh, I figured out that this one YouTuber I liked was racist, so I immediately quit watching his videos. And then for them to be able to come back later and say, yeah, I did this, but I understand now that it's wrong. And this is a problem we need to fix. It's like, but these are choices you made. The white supremacy in these things is not that coded. And even if the white supremacy itself is coded, there's still so much hateful, xenophobic messaging in so many of these that it kind of blows my mind that anybody would watch that and be surprised to find out that they're white supremacists. I'm really, really getting tired of white males being given so much benefit of the doubt. Like, if you're watching racist stuff and you get into racist stuff, that's not because some computer or some algorithm directed you toward that. It's because you are okay with that. You're comfortable enough with that to explore it. And frankly, they're mainstream ideas. Being comfortable with it isn't that surprising, but we just gotta stop pretending that this is friend shit and that these people are outliers. It's like they're supporting the system that has constantly supported them. So, you know, fuck them.